Well, finding a job can be a daunting task. From applying to interviewing to securing the job, it can be overwhelming. And I spoke with the CEO of Storyline Resumes and author of Career Confidence, No BS Stories and Strategies for Finding Your Power, Robynn Storey, who breaks down the strategies that you can benefit from. Take a look.
I think the strategies in this book that are so interesting is they're kind of non-traditional, right? Most people are looking for a job. They're going to the job boards. They're applying for everything and anything that they see. And quite frankly, a really great job search starts with a great job search strategy. So you want to be very focused in your efforts. You want to be on the lookout for opportunities in the most unexpected places, from anything from people that you meet to maybe companies that you've never considered before. Get on those company websites, set up those job alerts, and apply for things that maybe you hadn't thought about applying before. This is the time to really get creative. This is the time to really get aggressive. This is the time to be your own best advocate.
What are some common myths or perhaps misconceptions about job searching and career development that your book addresses?
Yeah, I think the most common misconception about a job search truly is that you have to meet 75% or 100% of the criteria for an opportunity. A lot of job postings, automatically require a bachelor's degree for positions that don't really require a bachelor's degree. I think when you're going through a job requisition or a job posting, looking through that posting, looking at those requirements, can you do that? Can you speak to a particular requirement that they have? Can you align an experience that you've had in your previous history to something that they need? There is no perfect fit. Lots of people have lots of different kinds of experiences. So don't be afraid to apply for a position, even though it may not seem perfect for you. They may actually look at that as an advantage and call you in for an interview.
Interesting. Well, how do you recommend job seekers navigate the current environment, especially in the light of high borrowing costs?
Yeah, I mean, look, the job search market right now is the toughest that I've ever seen it. Storyline is going to be celebrating 24 years in business next month, and I don't think I've ever seen a market quite like this. There's a lot of fake job postings, a lot of postings that go up and then go down and then go back up. The interview process seems to be longer. The salary offers seem to be lower. The best advice that I can give is apply to a lot of positions. Learn how to network. If you don't know how to network, get on LinkedIn, build a network, ask people for introductions, do the things that you haven't done before, because this job market absolutely calls for it.
What key resume tips, Robynn, do you find most effective for job seekers?
The best thing that I can tell you about a resume is this. I see a lot of resumes. We get hundreds of resumes a week in my career. I've looked at hundreds of thousands of them. Most resumes go into the detail about the job that the candidate is doing. What they need to be doing is going into the details of their accomplishments and impact. So if you're in sales, you don't need to describe what a salesperson does. Whoever's hiring for a sales job already knows that. What we're looking for on your resume, what is setting you apart as a candidate, is your impact. What did you inherit in that role? How much revenue was it doing when you got there? What did you grow it to? Talk about acquisitions around customers, revenue growth, give real numbers, give specifics on your resume that are specifically indicative to you, because ultimately your resume isn't about the company. It's not about the job description. It is truly about you and why it is that you are amazing. And that's the point that you're trying to get across on your resume.
Robynn, what's a memorable success story from your own career where you were able to help someone get their dream job?
Yeah, I worked in telecommunications for a long time and interviewed a female candidate. She had never been in a management role previously, but she was such a powerhouse salesperson, just had the right disposition, tended to be the go-to for coaching and mentoring new people that came on board. For me, she spoke leadership. And in that particular job, of course, that is something that we were looking for. So I offered her the position and she took it. Now, in my business around the Storyline Resumes, we've helped hundreds of thousands of people get their dream job by telling a story that's meaningful, by elevating the language, by elevating the story, by taking their real hands-on experience and showcasing that in a resume that makes them look like a candidate that's ready to move to the next level. That's what we do day in, day out here.
What role do you find that personal branding plays in a successful search and your own career advancement?
Yeah, I mean, personal branding is such an important piece of what a job seeker, what a candidate really needs to be. I'm not like a huge fan of the personal branding language because, I always say you're a human, right? Not a inanimate object or a banana, right? So you want to really, in your brand is going to be comprised of your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your online presence. Make sure that you're looking at those things with a critical eye, engaging in an expert or a person who can assist you to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. And places like LinkedIn are great because you can engage, you can tell stories, you can meet people. It allows a reach that job seekers didn't have 20 years ago. So for your personal brand, make sure that it's highly polished, it's telling the right story, that your picture is accurate and up to date. So many things that you can do to perpetuate who you are as a professional and why someone should look at you as a successful candidate.
How can job seekers build and maintain confidence in themselves and their own abilities throughout this process?
So I think the best way to maintain confidence is to do the research. When you're going into an interview, that you have researched that organization, what it is that they do, what it is that they sell, their product or their service. You've researched that job. You've looked at people that work for that company online or on LinkedIn. And so when you're getting into an interview, that you really have the knowledge that you need to answer all the questions that they're going to ask you. Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. An interview really isn't a place to do that. When you feel well informed, when you feel well prepared to answer relevant questions, that continues to build confidence. Even if you don't get that job, going through that experience and going through that experience over and over, by the time your job search comes to an end, you are an expert in yourself and what it is that you bring to the party.
What practical strategies from your book can readers start implementing today to improve their own journey?
Don't fall into all the traditional methods of looking for a job. There's jobs everywhere. There's job opportunities everywhere. So lots of folks, sort of go down the path where they go to the job boards, they set up the alerts and they're applying. Don't be afraid to talk to people about what they do for a living. Check out the companies that they work for. Start with your friends and family network. Get on the company jobs pages and see what's available. If you reach out to someone that you know, whether it's a former peer, a former customer, a friend, or a neighbor, and say, hey, I see that you work at such and such. Can you make an introduction for me to HR? 99% of the time, people are going to say yes. So don't be afraid, again, to be your own advocate, to think outside of the normal scope of what you've done in the past, because it seems right now what you've done in the past isn't as effective as it used to be.